Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to CRW 282. My name is Kurt Klotmeyer and I'll be your professor this semester. I wanted to make a quick video just to show you kind of where everything is, talk a little bit about the syllabus and my expectations for you for the class, and to go over a couple of the things that I want you to have done before Friday. So, first of all, this is Blackboard. I think you can uh, see that, and I'm sure probably most of you have a fair amount of practice with it. But just in case not, you can always email me or ask me any questions that you want. Um, Here is the Start Here page. I told you in my email to go here first um, and click on Welcome. That should be what you did already. And then, if you haven't already, I want you to open up the syllabus just so we can look over it fairly quickly. So, this is my syllabus. Um, it will give you a kind of an outline of what we need to do for the class. Some things to note. I have office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 to 1 at UMass Boston. So I know this is an online class and you might not be able to make it onto campus, or you might not be able to make it at this time, but you can certainly make an appointment with me and we can figure out a time that'll work best for both of us. Or we can talk on the phone. We can talk via Skype. These are all things that can work outside of looking, face to face at each other as we talk about writing. I have two emails up here: kurt.klotmeyer at umb.edu and kklotmeyer at gmail. The edu forwards to my Gmail account, so either one will work. I would ask that you send your homework, however, to klotmeyer.homework@gmail.com, just so I can use that to see all my homework and not have it get kind of swallowed up by all the emails that I get, and I'm sure we all get. So, basically, this is a class where we write two papers that you will be able to use for the writing proficiency exam, and hopefully you will be able to use for the rest of your life, in critical thinking, in communicating via writing. These are all very important things, and I think that's part of why they make us take the writing proficiency exam. Though I know that's a problem or an annoyance for many of us. We can actually talk about that in the discussion sections if you'd like. So, basically, we'll be writing two papers. To pass the papers, like passing the writing proficiency, you'll need to pass with a 7 or above on both. It's not just a one-time thing. I'm not going to say, okay, go write me a paper, come back, and, oh, that's not a 7, you fail the class. We're going to work on a number of drafts and building up to that. So, you will need to pass each element of the syllabus. So it's not just writing the papers, it's discussing, it's doing the homework leading up to the papers. So don't think that you can just, hand me a paper when it's due and then say, okay, I'm done. I say that you can have 3 absences. What I mean by this is 3 non-participations in the weekly or bi-weekly discussion sections. But after those 3, you will start to accrue penalties, and it can start to become a problem for you. Okay? So, I need you to turn in your homework on time, and I need you to turn in, all of it, because every piece builds into the larger paper. But most of the grade is based on both papers, because that's really what matters here. It's both a process, working on it week by week, and a product that you come out with and you can show to the writing proficiency graders and you know help you pass, as well as giving you practice for the real writing proficiency paper. Um, I'll give you feedback throughout. I want you to do well. So if you have any questions, if you feel like my feedback is not getting at something you really want to know about, then feel free to ask me. Do not hesitate in letting me know your needs as the class continues. Some formatting notes. If you could use Times New Roman or Garamond, it just looks better in a 12-point font. Even Arial is a little big at a 12-point font, and we want you to have all the ideas there. So we need, fair word counts. Grammar and spelling we can work on. We're not really going to do that much hardcore grammar and spelling work, but please do proofread all your papers. Out aloud, in fact, would be great for you and for everybody involved. So, name, date, assignment title, these are kind of obvious. And like in the writing proficiency, when we say, for instance, each of these papers has to be 5 pages, that doesn't mean 4 pages and then like 2 lines at the top, 5 pieces of paper. We mean 5 full pages, maybe 2 lines at the top of page 6. And please, when you send to klopmeyer.homework@gmail, please send as a Google Doc. You can share it with me, or a .doc or docx, or a PDF. I know a lot of you probably have Macs, but you can save those as PDFs. Pages are just hard to convert to .docx, and it takes a lot of time and energy for me as a PC user. Please schedule meetings with me. That again can be face to face. It can be by phone. It can be by Skype. So just stay in contact with me, especially if you're having problems or you feel like you're having difficulties in this class. I'm sure you've seen this before. It's boilerplate. If you have a disability and might need accommodations, if you're feeling that our class isn't allowing for what you need, please let me know. You can contact the Ross Center and talk to them as well. And of course, you are expected to write your own essays. You are expected to, do all of your own work, and it's surprising how, much a professor can read a person's work and tell if that's their voice. Changes in voice are somewhat like, when we listen to someone's voice, you can kind of hear different word choice, different syntax, and we'll need to talk about it if that's going to be a problem, but I don't think it is. So, here is a rundown of all of our schedules, all of our weeks. Note it's pretty broad, and that's because I'm going to be looking at what we are doing and how we are doing and slow down or speed up accordingly. So, again, if you feel like we're going too fast or too slow, you can let me know and we can, work with that. Good. So, also, I said that we were going to have 2 papers. I'm setting our first paper to be done by the 10th because the portfolio is due on the 17th. So if you want to do the March portfolio, you don't have to. But if you really want to, and maybe you only need 1 paper, or you just really want to practice doing 1 paper and then get the portfolio in March, then we will finish that paper before the portfolios are due, which is at the very end of spring break on the 17th. Then we will take the second half of the class to do the second essay, and then you'll have two. The second essay is a little bit harder, I think. I do that on purpose, of course, because it's lifting weights. You're gonna get better and better by doing harder and harder stuff. Good. So as for this week, let's look at weekly sessions. This is where most of what you're going to be doing. This is where you're going to be looking for most of your work. So click on week 1. I have a few things, not particularly a lot of work, and we might be picking up speed a little bit as we go. I'd like you to click on week 1 assignments. Looks like this. So we've already done the start here. Look at the welcome video in the syllabus. I have 2 discussion threads. One is questions and answers. So you can click to launch, and you should come up to something like this. Maybe some people will have commented by now, but I want you to click create thread. Ask any questions you want, anything about our class, about the writing proficiency, anything that would will help you see where we're going with the rest of this semester. And I'm sure other people have those same questions, so don't hesitate to ask anything. No silly questions. Okay. Second, I want you to introduce yourself, describe yourself, kind of who are you and what should we know about you. I'd like you to read each other's, because although we can't always see each other, it helps to know that there are other people out there in this class, especially when you're online and you can't see everyone kind of around. I know online classes can be a little bit harder in that sense. Also, come to think of it, what would be great is if you could post a photo of yourself. If you go up here to your name, I believe it is. Oh, I believe it's up here. And I made mine general agriculture because I don't think that was necessary for me, so I just clicked something. But you can go to settings and privacy, and you can set up a picture if you want. It would help me and help your fellow students to see faces as opposed to just those kind of blank non-people that are up if you don't set that up. Finally, I want you to read 2 things. First is critical reading strategies. It can help you to print out these and take notes on the paper itself. I would recommend that. I'm not going to force you to take pictures to show me that you're taking notes, but it's really going to help you out. I want you to read this. It's only 2.5 pages, almost 3 pages. Specifically, I want you to think about glossing and annotating. We're going to work with our own triple entry notes, is what I call them. We'll work on that for next time. But I want you to have kind of an overview of reading strategies, because that's how you get the ideas to write them out. And then finally, I want you to read the first reading in the denialism reading set. This is a reading set from a couple years ago. It, I think, is really kind of pertinent now, with a lot of the news stories that we've been seeing, and I think it's a really interesting set. So it's password protected. Note that I have set up in the week 1 assignments the password. It's June number 13P, and then without the quotes, and then submit. So this is denialism. We have the question. Read the question. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So don't worry too much about that yet. But it's good to have an idea of what you're writing towards. And then finally, I want you to read the first reading in the set. This is called "There Must Be a Reason: Osama, Saddam, and Inferred Justification" by Monica Prasad et al., meaning and others. So please read that for Friday. Do all of this for Friday, please. And again, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to be putting things up on Friday. I think I'll usually be putting new assignments up on Friday and Monday. I might only put up one, once a week, or I might go twice a week. But I will email you every time I've put something new up, so that you don't have to keep checking all the time. But please do check when I have emailed you, and see what's going on and what we need to do for the rest of the class. So that's all I have for now. Remember to ask questions. Write those questions here in the course questions and answers, and introduce yourself. And then by Friday, I want you to read the course questions and answers and introduce yourself, as well as the readings that I've assigned. So please have those questions and introductions filled out by Thursday. Let's say that. Okay? Thanks for listening, and I look forward to the rest of the semester. Have a good night.